Thanks, Chris. The more that people come up here, the worse I'm starting to feel about my opening.
Yours is more accurate.
That's awesome. We have...
His brother's here, he's late. Right in the family.
Which brother? You Steve or Derek?
Steve.
Steve, yeah, I've heard about you, Steve. All right. Well, thanks for making it, I suppose. You just pick the whole thing, or you just did now? Just gonna pick it. Oh, I can say the whole thing. All right. Well, good. We're going to bring up a friend that I guess you met in theater, and surprisingly enough, was in a play directed by Stephen Green. Is this the weirdest thing? The connection is strange. It's frightening. It's something no one wants to get near, acknowledge, and touch, but it's there. We have to respect the Gomer. It's brought a lot of people together. And I guess you guys have a theater background, and I'm going to bring up right now. I'm going to talk to you about Gus Garcia.
I don't want the music fully, I'm not that Mexican. Don't worry, I'll bring this right back down to the gutter. So. The last two have been far too nice. And, had I known you were going to wear that ridiculous hat, I would have had another 10 minutes of material. Anyway, in coming up with a roast for our beloved Tony Carnaghi here, I thought long and hard about what makes him special, unique, and one of a kind. When that failed miserably, I just decided instead, just to try to determine what is at the very essence of this man of 40 years that sits here with us today. The person we all know and just kind of tolerate. So what do we know about him? He pointed out the lazy eye, of course. He has terrible taste in movies. Sucker for bad kung fu, even worse, Elvis-related ones. He runs a podcast, I heard, yeah. Heard by literally a dozen people. Well, okay, a dozen. I mean, if you count the people that are in the room, you might hit double digits. I don't know. But I think, as we mentioned before, his best unofficial stage credit is playing Elwood to my Jake, right? Yeah. But I think many would agree that he hit it big when he famously played Mr. Weasel. Yeah, that green monstrosity. Wow.
You're welcome.
That's embarrassing. So what else do we know about him? He killed Jimmy Stewart. He did. Right? He did. It's a long story, and but that he killed him.
We gotta tell it now.
I know, right? Well, maybe 3 days before Jimmy Stewart dies, he did this impression of him that would make him roll over in his grave. Just, can you do a little bit of it for us? Do you remember?
Maybe.
Yeah. Okay. Here we go.
Of course he does, yeah.
Oh, Mary. Oh, Mary. Oh, Mary. Oh, give it to me, Mary. Give it to me. Let me have it, Mary. Oh, yes, Mary. I'm going to send you to the moon, Mary. Oh, there we go. Dead. Yeah, 2 days later, he dead. But I think we can all agree the one thing we all think of when we look at Tony is gay. that comes to mind is that famous voice, just smooth, deep, and child molestery. So I did a little research, and it turns out there's actually a scientific correlation with the deep voice and a few things like attractiveness to the opposite sex, masculinity, penis size. You know, there's something to this. So we're going to take these one by one. So deep voice and attractiveness to the opposite sex. Well, there might be something here because Tony's not a good-looking man. He has the voice for radio with the face to match. For sure. Someone say he looks like Elvis, the later years. But despite the mutton chops, he managed to marry Stephanie, who is very easily out of his league. But really, who isn't? So can we attribute this to his deep voice? I don't know, it's a stretch, but maybe. All right. Masculinity. I have some photographs. I don't know if you guys can see this. I obviously didn't prepare it very well here, but first picture here. I don't know if you guys can see this. Yeah, you've probably seen this on here. Taking a little sippy sip of a very manly looking margarita here. I don't know if you can see that. Yeah.
He uses it as his profile.
Right? I know. It's fodder for just. So it's quite possibly the world's longest straw here, and it looks like he had no problem sucking that down. And by sucking that down, I mean that straw looks like a penis, and you're doing a good job. So. But it's really hard to believe, you can't tell here, but he managed to keep that pinky tucked in. Despite all his upbringing there. Alright, evidence number 2. This picture. Yeah. Now, Tony here has seen double fisting 2 microphones. Now, come on. Microphones, right? We know what those mics are supposed to represent. Urban Dictionary calls it ski polling. Tony just calls it a nice Friday night. But you're crossing the streams there, buddy. Alright, photo number 3. Yeah, I don't even know why you put that up there. So, position Tony, I'm sure, has been in many, many times before. Eyes closed, mouth open, tongue out, just ready to go for it. You've seen this so many times. He has his eyes closed, like the pretense, like he hasn't done this before, but dude's pro. And last but not least here, get this up here. All right, what could be more hetero than Tony and his little kitty cat? Yeah. That's all I have to say about that. So we have attractiveness to the opposite sex, masculinity, and the very last, he's saying the correlation between deep voice and penis size. Well, I don't have first-hand evidence here, allegedly. But Steve tells me it feels downright uncomfortable. So victory there. 2 out of 3 ain't bad. Told you, got her. So Tony, man, your old balls have been on this earth for 40 years, and I've known you for almost half of those, and they say that you only roast the ones you love, and honestly, man, truer words haven't been said. I love you, bud.
You must love him a lot. Yeah, and good luck getting Tony to admit he's gay.
Yeah, right.
I mean, he's so deep in the closet, he smells like mothballs. Oh, the fun. At your expense. All right, we're going to bring out another friend of Tony, somebody he's known since high school. Again, another theater connection. Yeah, maybe something there. And we'll hear a little bit about that. Let's welcome Steve Schetzer.
That was my first choice.
First, I can't believe I flew 3 hours this morning for this shit. I got my ass up at 3 o'clock this morning just to drive an hour to an airport, sit on a plane for 3 hours to show, you know, and then I have to listen to this. You know, I'll never forget the first time I met Tony. It was I think a Monday morning, standing out waiting for the bus for Rubidoux High School. Guy walks up to me and says, "You want a cigarette?" And I'm like, "No, I don't smoke." Yeah. I'm still hoping that therapy will eventually work out. You know, part of when I look at Tony and I think about it, I think, what can you say about a guy like this? You know, what can you say about somebody that's admired, revered, loved by everybody? But I can start by saying he's not the one that we're honoring today. I remember in Thurber Carnival. Remember that? I think it was your senior year, my junior year. We were all so happy. Tony took part in it. When it came to memorizing lines, you know, we thought, oh, this is going to be great. Tony has a photographic memory. Sad thing is there was no film in it.
I come up with a few.
I'm trying to read little notes, you know, here. Good. Oh, shit. I'm not too far off from him, so. They really only said that I would only have a few minutes to do this. I'm trying to figure out now what I'm going to do for the rest of the time. But I have a lot to say. You know, they say that your looks are the first to go. And certainly you're going to have something to look forward to now. Something else I used to think about. There's a recent survey. Showed that at age 20, 90% of men had sex 4 times a week. But by the time they reach their 40s, they're still capable of telling the same pathetic lie. Good Lord. Myself into this. All right. Wait a minute, I have one more here. You know, the thing is Tony and I have been friends since that, you know, Monday morning in January. I hope it was '91. When he offered me a cigarette, I said I don't smoke. I think 2 years later, or 2 weeks later, we were smoking together. But Tony has been a great friend. You know, we've had a lot of fun. I still remember, you know, us going to the beach as a group, as a whole group all the time, having a great time. He and Stephanie have both been great. They've supported me through the years, particularly during some rough times and everything. And so I feel so honored to be asked to be here, and it really was great to be able to fly out and do this. So.
Who knew you had so many genuine friends? This has been fun for almost everyone in the room. We're going to bring up another speaker.